transitions. I was asked by a follower to find a transition video. I do so many, I don't really know. They might be somewhere. And that toolbar is not helpful for you guys anymore. So I'm always happy to help. Just ask. Transitions are tough for a lot of people. And I tried to use the 3 I've had this morning. But those are more outtake videos today, so we're not using those. I do on my subscription channel, you can pay on the website or you can pay in person if you're interested. We do lives once a week, and sometimes we do stretching videos. The last live, I said, kind of get yourself into a plank position, and where your shoulders are up, and then let your shoulders drop. And shoulders up, or let your chest drop, And if you have the feeling where you're here, let's see if you can see it better when you're up against the Coke can. So again, you're in like plank position, and then you drop your chest. If you've got all that weight on your forehand, especially when you're warming up, you can't lift your arms because all that weight is down on your arms. So when someone adds leg, it's like pushing your toes up, and now you're reaching for contact and connection, and then you're gonna scramble. Same thing down. If your horse is down on their forehand, the thoracic sling is dropped. You'll hear us talk about the thoracic sling. This is up, and this would be down, right, the girth line. When they're down on the forehand, they physically cannot move their legs. And what do people think? Well, I need to do transitions to help them with that, or I need to jump them. So I'm running, and then they have to clip-clop because they can only have one foot off the ground. So if I am here, I need my weight to move back. Then I can lift a leg. So instead of always thinking push, go, 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 your horse is giving you what they can generally, especially the elderly right now and the cold right now. The videos from Kentucky were all like this. This is also how they stand at night, blanketed or unblanketed, right? And so it takes a while to let those muscles release. I'm getting to the point. So if you're really kind of on the forehand, or your horse is on the forehand and they're warming up, they can only move so much. Allow them for 3 strides. Say, hey, can I make you make teeny tiny steps for 3 strides? And then release and pat them. And then can you do it again? Can I just shorten you up and make you do teeny tiny steps and then release and pat them? And what you'll notice is on the release, they actually take their nose towards your connection and contact. And then you start to kind of play with that both directions. From there, you then start to go, can I expand your right front leg for 3 strides? So we've shortened them up, they've rocked back a little bit, then when we release, they stretch. You're also teaching yourself and your horse to release after every movement, and they'll stretch into your contact. This is something that's also being taught simultaneously. You can even do it with just a give of your arm. So you can still be in frame, shoulder to elbow squeezes against or close the back of your armpit. You can just relax. My arm didn't really move, I just relaxed, right? So can I let that left front leg or right front leg go more forward for 3 strides, and then I'm gonna relax. And the horse starts to learn I'm staying within the gait and expanding my pace. I can connect and collect, which is sitting on that back end, not shortening up, sitting back, and then can I expand out? And once you kind of warm them up, expanded, then they're much more able to do all kinds of things for you. Another take is a lot of times people kind of are on the gas and try to go from parked to 60 or try to go from 60 to parked. Please remember several things. Pick a front leg. Can I let that front leg walk forward for 3 strides and then ask for the trot from the halt? Especially if you've been sitting and talking for a minute, everyone zones out. So remember, if you've sat and talked for a minute, regroup and go back forward. Now we're obviously talking about our slower, shorter horses here. We'll get to the fast-paced speed demons in a second. So allow yourself, especially in the warm-up, I'm gonna ask and flutter my leg and be annoying for 3 to 5 strides and not micromanage and talk about something other than the topic. The topic is, if I add my leg, will this horse go forward? If it goes forward, you then pat left hand, you pat right hand. What is this doing? It's relaxing both parts of your body. It's also relaxing both parts of their body and letting the bit simultaneously move a little bit depending on what bit you have in their mouth. Why is that important? Most people do things straight and forward and straight and forward. So if you're kind of rolling yourself, you're rolling the bit in their mouth, You're massaging their back a bit. You're also relaxing your back a bit versus bracing and having them brace against your contact. We go from the halt, we build on to the walk for a few strides, we flutter our aids, we ask them to trot, we praise them for the response to the question that was asked. Then we build onto that. Can I now get you to do it in frame? And continue to do intervals of those kinds of things. All right, you have a horse that's a little bit braced, but then you next. Is it a saddle fit issue? Don't tell me you had it fitted 7 years ago and it fitted fine. They change quarterly, honestly. They change in work. They change with food change. They change when it's braced and tight. Half pad might be necessary, you name it. The horse might be sore for whatever they might have done in the pasture at night or slept funny in the stall, right? So you have a horse that's a little bit too much leg, right? Your track horse, your Arab horse, your saddlebred, all the legs are moving and the back stays pretty braced. You have to think about when you're describing your horse, the answer's in there somewhere. Just narrow it down. So if you have a horse that only moves legs, energy can't be made or destroyed, it can only be moved. Are you trying to do a transition straight, or are you willing to put all of your body weight down into one sitting bone and roll your shoulder like you're looking at the horsefly that might kill you and guide them this direction and then ask this side to slow down and then release? Don't ask for the halt initially. Can I adjust you? Can I shorten this front leg a bit? And then I'm gonna praise you. Now, can I start to shorten you again? And then I'm gonna praise you. And then can I start to like gear it down where I start to get a little heavier, but more in one side? So again, I also have a one rein stop effect if I need to. I can also maneuver them and turn them and then praise. Remember, we start small, we start slow, and then build up. The same thing, can I slowly give you a 1/4 of an inch of rein on one side? Do they take it? Do they jerk it? Well, then we're gonna practice that. I'm gonna continue to do this until your response isn't that. What happens is the horses respond with like a jerking manner, and then we go, well, we'll just never do that again. And then they jerk because they want the rein from you, or they're jerks sometimes. So we do things one-sided and then build up. What's the other hand doing? Straight line hand-to-mouth connection. Is it loose? No. Because eventually you're going to need this and you don't want a huge change. Do you see the reverberation that just happened? Sometimes we need to go ahead and see the reverberation? So it can still be here. I can be relaxed. I'm not leaning on this. I'm not tugging on this. I'm just relaxed. This is the rein I'm working. This one's just here. Again, it's not here, so that I'm also disconnected and then lose my mind when right? That's also attached to their mouth. So think, I'm just going to keep connection, straight line from hand to mouth or elbow to mouth, as I'm asking this horse to slow, 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 right? Let them feel your seat. I teach a lot where they kind of hover, and I'm like, they need to hear you say, slow down, sit back, slow down, release. Are they going to be perfect on the release? No, because they don't really know what's going on yet, but you're going to teach them how to do that. Maneuver them. Can we go a little left, relax. And if you have a speed demon, you have to move the energy around. Focus on one leg, not the whole body, because the whole body is never going to slow down, but that one leg will. And let me know if that helps. The slower horses are slower to respond, and people kind of always ask them to run off their feet, and again, they're scrambling. The faster horses are lighter and they're full thoracic, and you're kind of like slow ass down, and they're like, but I am going slow for me. So ask them to do the same thing we ask the slow horses to do, adjust their striding, adjust their tempo in short intervals. Not only will you get more comfortable, they will too. And again, prepare your body and your equitation before you ask for a transition. Don't kind of be in the loose rein walk and then ask for the trot and then be like, oh my God, because then they go, wait, you asked for this. Same with the canter. You see a lot of people kind of were trotting along and then they canter, and we sit and they canter, and then they canter, and it's quicker, and oh my God. And then they throw their head and they're like, and what you say is, I asked for the canter, and then they toss their head and then they break gait. Well, why? This is your whoa button. That says whoa. They also are not here to hold you up. So if I'm trotting and I want to go into the canter, I'm going to organize my reins, and then I'm going to sit into one sitting bone, and I'm going to let that pelvis canter, and I'm going to mentally go, deal with this for 5 strides. Sit.